You already know we are live. We are live. And I just wanted to discuss Sean Puffy Combs has issued a letter, an open letter to corporate America and such big media and big corporate giants such as GM and other companies such as that. So I just wanted to get a little bit into what Puff actually said. I just wanted to get into a little bit of what Puff said. And then we're going to go probably into a couple of different people's takes on the situation, such people as Dr. Boyce Watkins and a couple of others, right? Because also Mr. Whitlock, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into that into a little second. So let's just get into what Puff actually said. The mogul was responding to a pledge from GM to spend more of its budget on Black-owned media. No longer can corporate America manipulate our community into believing that incremental progress, okay, is an acceptable action. So Sean Combs, in an open letter posted to the website of his Revolt TV channel, called out large corporations for failing to commit meaningful advertising dollars to Black-owned media companies. We demand that corporate America reinvest an equitable percentage of what you take from our community and put it back. Community, Combs wrote. The same way you understand the power of our dollar, we understand our power to take them away from any corporation that doesn't give us the economic inclusion that we deserve. We are prepared to weaponize our dollars. Again, he said, we are prepared to weaponize our dollars. Then he goes on to state, Combs was responding in part to a move by General Motors last week when it announced that it would spend more of its ad allocations on Black media, ultimately rising to 8% of its total ad spend by 2025. The automaker said it currently spends about 2% of its budget on Black-owned media. All right. So it spends less than 2%. It spends less than 2%, right, on the Black budget, right? But then they make about 15% plus is what the revenue is that they make from these companies, right? So Sean Combs in his letter said that the new initiative wasn't enough. If you love us, pay us. Not a token investment, not a charity or some check or donation, right? Combs wrote, radical change is the only option. You're either with us or you're on the other side. There's no other way around that, right? So then he says, our commitment goes beyond advertising and sponsorship revenue. We want to build long-standing partnerships with Black-owned and diverse media companies in a transparent and meaningful way. This is what GM said in a statement, right? This includes investments in business enablers such as customized deal structures and facilitating access to measurement and mentorship tools, which are often a barrier for small and emerging businesses. In addition, in May of 2021, we will launch our diverse-owned media upfront. The process, which is a dedicated briefing to diverse media owners that encourages partners and potential partners to submit business proposals, will be accredited by a third party to ensure fairness and transparency. As the company with the largest diversity media spend in our industry, we are committed to evaluating our approach on regular basis, ensure we maintain our leadership positions, right? I'm going to go into a little bit on that, and I'm going to let Dr. Boyce Watkins speak on different things and how, like, the president of GM, they was actually being accused of being racists and different things of that nature. So I'm going to let Dr. Boyce Watkins elaborate on that issue a little further because he knows it, and I don't like talking stories that I really don't know and I haven't done the history on, right? So the letter from Combs follows public from media mogul Byron Allen and other Black leaders who took out a newspaper ad calling out the automaker for not spending enough in the Black community, right? Allen, whose holdings include the Weather Channel and a number of local TV stations across the country, has also pushed for other large companies to increase their ad spend. On Wednesday, Allen and telecom giant Verizon announced a deal that will see it increase its ad spend on Black-owned media through specific details were not, though the specific details were not available on that situation, but they're making progress, right? So he says, I am very proud of Verizon, one of the largest advertisers in the world, coming to the table to make sure that we have real economic inclusion for Black-owned media, said Allen in a statement. The biggest trade deficit in our nation is that the trade deficit is between the corporate America and Black America, and we must close that gap immediately. GM is an advertisers on Revolt TV, Combs said in his letter, though he added that our relationship is not an example of success. Instead, Revolt, just like any other Black-owned media company, fights for crumbs while GM makes billions of dollars a year off of it. No longer can corporate America manipulate our community into believing incremental progress is acceptable action, Combs wrote in his letter. And that was a very, very powerful letter that Puff wrote, you know. Jason Whitlock even commented on the letter, and he said that he loves the letter as well, which made me want to do some research and read exactly what Puff was talking about, you know, and it's real, you know what I'm saying? When we go into a little bit what Dr. Boyce Watkins is speaking about, he's going to speak a little bit more in detail about certain people that's close to Puff Daddy that he knew, and he's going to talk about some of the claims that's being made by certain people. Like there was a letters being signed by certain Black, you know, celebrities and such, claiming that GM and certain companies were being biased. You know what I'm saying? So I do want to get into what Dr. Boyce Watkins had to say, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really real. So hold up. I'm going to share this screen for y'all so y'all could get the view on what's going on. Let me share this for y'all so y'all can see what Dr. Boyce Watkins was talking about, because he really breaking it down in a different kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to Dr. Boyce Watkins real quick for y'all. There you go. There you go. So this is Dr. Boyce Watkins. This is the blackbusinessschool.com, and this is the Black Financial Channel. So we are watching the Black Financial Channel right now.
They wrote a letter, an open letter. I think they put out an ad, basically going after GM CEO Mary Barra. Mary Barra, let me pull this up. She looks a little bit like Karen. They're all named Karen until otherwise. And so Mary
they all named Karen.
Call her GM, Karen. I'm gonna put her picture on the screen. Let me see if I can find her.
Leave a comment, leave a comment. Subscribe on BUILDINGBLOKK on YouTube for this good content. We will be dropping good content for y'all.
For GM CEO Mary Barra. I hope I'm talking about the right person. And she got on my radar screen. I don't even think about GM, and she got on my radar screen because there was this interesting letter written. See, there was a letter, and then there was like another letter on top of the letter. And so Byron Allen took out a full-page ad in a lot of outlets, basically saying that Mary Barra is racist. And I was like, whoa, wow, okay. And so, and the letter was signed by Ice Cube, Roland Martin, we're not going to say that name anymore today, Don Jackson, Butch Graves from Black Enterprise, and Junior Bridgman, who is hometown loyal, or he played basketball loyal anyway, and he actually is the owner of Ebony Magazine now. So this letter comes out, and basically it comes down to making this point, which is a complete point, that GM, they spend all this money on advertising, and they put that money right back into the Black community. They expect you to buy their cars, but they want some businesses, right? They expect you to show up and give them your money, but they won't give you that money. Right? So this is kind of, to me, this is gang. This is powernomics in action, by the way.
Powernomics.
What's happened is these men have gotten together and they said, we're going to be gangster. We're going to roll up in there and we're going to look what's going on and we're going to deal with that. Now, let's talk about this. Okay, so the point is complete. You absolutely positive. There's no way you can argue that GM, as many cars as they sell to black people, as much as they make from black people, you can't argue that they don't owe money to black people. Like anybody, there's no way anybody from GM to debate me on this. I have a PhD in finance, so I'm gonna chop you up in little pieces. You know, it would be like, you know, I don't know, doing a rap competition with somebody who just learned how to read. I will chop you in little pieces because you have no argument.
This is Dr. Watkins explaining his take on the Puff Daddy open letter. He gonna go into GM and some organizations against the top GM. Just listen in. It's deep, son.
What's interesting to me, though, is that it's important to understand, though, that the support of black-owned media is the first step to cutting the check, or the first step toward corporate reparations. There's been an argument that's been made that reparations shouldn't just come from the government. Reparations should come from corporations that have benefited from government policy. That these billion-dollar companies, these, you know, the Apples and all, you know, and the Microsofts and the Googles should be writing multi-billion-dollar checks.
Facts.
To entities within the black community to ensure that that we get this opportunity to achieve some of the supporting black-owned media. And now the risk of that, though, the problem that you have is that when they're supporting black-owned media, it's a trade. It's an exchange. In exchange for supporting the black-owned media, they are marketing these products, you know, that they sell for their businesses, not black-owned businesses, for their businesses, and getting black people to buy things. Spend money.
Check it out. I'm telling you, it's real.
$1 million in ads with a certain company. Well, you made $2 million back from the advertising because those customers then become your customers, and you're making money that way. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but that goes back to that video. If you find it on YouTube, Ebony Magazine had in the 50s called "How to Sell to the Negro," and what they were trying to do was
how to sell to the Negro.
Corporations to support black-owned media and to advertise with Ebony Magazine. They said, "Look, we've collected black people, and we can get them to buy your product." Right now, again, there's nothing wrong with that, not at all. But what you must be balanced. Black media outlets are not the only black-owned businesses that are out there. So if GM, let's not even say GM, let's say a sneaker company or something that's more realistic. It's hard for black people to form an automobile manufacturer. But what if it's Nike? What if Nike says, okay, support black media, we're going to advertise Nikes everywhere. Any black media that you see is going to have a Nike ad. Well, you know what? There's a lot of brothers and sisters out here that got sneaker companies that are going to be sitting there like, damn, like y'all all buying these and ain't nobody buying my stuff anymore, right? So in this process, in this gangster move,
I just was Googling that.
For the captains of industry, for the Ice Cubes and the Byron Allens, etc., there's a role for the black consumer as well. You know, if you think about this, here's what I would love to see, right? I would love to see GM write big, fat, gigantic checks to black-owned media to help these media outlets grow and everything else. But then I would love to see black consumers re-up on their commitment to support black-owned products. So that means that if I'm sitting there and I'm watching an ad from a company that's not black-owned, I also know about, I have some directory I'm subscribed to on, say, We Buy Black or something. I see black-owned companies that sell the same product. I'm going to be black. I'm going to turn to the black product before I turn to this other product.
Yep.
Now, it doesn't mean that you go buy a GM, or GM car. I mean, you know, like I said, we don't manufacture cars. I don't know of any black automobile manufacturers. It takes a while. It takes a lot of capital.
There's one. I seen one coming up.
If you're talking about
making parts.
Need everything from T-shirts to sneakers. We do make those things. We have black-owned businesses that make those things. So when you're talking about supporting black-owned media, it's important to remember that the ultimate goal at the end of the day is to ensure that there is support for black-owned businesses across the board. So with that said, let's move forward. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't done that yet, do that right now. Also, if you want to support the platform, I'm not looking for GM money. I've already somebody reached out to me about it, about approaching our platform. I do not want GM money. You will not see a GM ad on this platform ever. But because I want support from the community, so we can keep it honest. So if you want to be part of the support network for this platform, we do have a Patreon. Feel free to subscribe at intelligentblackpeople.com. We give you lots of free stuff and give you free access and everything. So feel free to go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That I don't want corporate money. I just don't. But that does not mean that there aren't good black media outlets that deserve corporate money. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read Diddy's letter to you in one second, because I think the letter was well written. There was nothing wrong with it. I was super impressed by it. I was really happy Diddy wrote it. I think Diddy's name, and I just think it was great. I'm sure that the GM CEO, Mary Vera, her name was, we call her Karen. I'm sure that GM Karen very upset when she saw Diddy's letter, and I commend Diddy for going out there and doing this, because Diddy writing that letter is not the same as me writing that letter. GM don't like me. They ain't never gave me a nickel. They never will, and I don't want their money. But Diddy is in there. Diddy gets the corporate money. Diddy is connected and wired into these companies. So I applaud him for doing what he did. So let me read this letter to you. I think it's worth repeating. We gotta get
so I want to forward a little bit into. I want to fast forward to see what he's talking about.
So 10% of that number will be $30 million. Sorry, is that 30 million? Yeah.
Let's go back to the numbers.
All right, so let's see. What is 10% of $3 billion? Black people about 14, 15%, right? 14%, I guess.
14%.
15, 16% spending on cloud. You know how black people like to be fancy and stuff.
Peep this. He about to break it down. Peep it.
$30 million. I'm sorry. Is that 30 million? Yeah. Oh, wait, that's not right. 3 billion. No, sorry. 10% of 3 billion.
Subscribe to BLOKK on YouTube now. We're streaming this live.
Right. So if they wanted to be fair, they will be spending at least $300 million in advertising. That's such a big. Let me check my math, because I feel like that number is so big. Let me go back.
Nah, man, this is what's going on right now.
Yeah.
The things that we not paying attention to.
I want to check that that 0.1 times 3 billion is 300 million. I've known this since I was about 4 years old, but just seeing it on it's just the disrespect. Like, I'm pausing because the depth of the disrespect is like shocking. You ever have a time where you just look in the mirror and you say, "My God, like, what am I doing?" Like, I'm having a moment. I'm having a moment right now. So process this for a minute, black people. You're 14% of the population. You probably make up 15, 16% of the spending on new cars. You know how we like our new cars. And 10% of that 3 billion is 300 million. That's 10%. If it was actually 14%, you're talking about $420 million. But instead of $420 million, you get 10 million.
It's crazy.
So imagine somebody owes you $420
and they give you $10.
And they give you $10.
It's crazy.
How would you? Like, would you feel like that was respectful? Give me a yes or no in the chat. Is that respectful? Like, would you feel respected? Like, somebody like.
How do you think of that right there? If someone was to give you, you know what I'm saying? Let me center this. If someone was to give you $10 out of $420 that they owe you, how would you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? Think about that. Leave a comment in there if you're at this point. Up to 14+% of the revenue, and they put like 1% back into black media and to black companies. But they depend on our dollar. They depend on all of the things that we have. You know what I mean? Like, black people it's crazy, man. It's just crazy to think about. It's just crazy, man. I'm gonna get back to Boyce Watkins on that, man. That's crazy.
Hey, man, look, I know $420, but here's a 10 spot. Here's $10.
Here's the 10.
That you got that. Like what? How would you feel? I'm pausing on this because I want you to reflect on the depth of the disrespect. Like, I kind of almost to the point where I'm sitting here thinking, do we need to boycott GM products? Like, do we need to just sit for a moment? Like, we're not going. Now I want trying to remember that. Now, Cadillacs, I saw Tamika Mallory on a Cadillac commercial. Good for Tamika. Who makes Cadillacs? Does GM make Cadillacs? What's up, man? Because I think Cadillacs are nice cars.
Let me Google it. He's Googling it.
Hold on. Oh!
Oh, shit.
General Motors Company makes Cadillacs.
Oh, man.
And Lisa.
Oh, man.
We can't buy a Cadillac now.
We can't buy a Cadillac.
So General Motors makes a lot of different cars. They make a lot of different cars. Let's see. Let's do a list. Okay.
You got to see what's going on now. You know, I mean, people pushing for the black people, but it's a lot going on behind the scenes with these companies and how they using these people, like a Tamika Mallory, how they would use a Tamika Mallory. You know what I'm saying?
Did you know that GM spent $3 billion on advertising? Diddy wrote a letter that $3 billion advertising. Guess how much they spend in the black community? No. And now it's 10 million.
Million.
That's what Diddy's
out of 300.
But did you know that we make up 14% of the population? We probably make up a higher percentage of new car sales. Because you know, we was talking about the Cadillac. Remember we were talking about the Cadillac? Get our Cadillac. No, we can't get it now. No, not until GM. That's right. I know you want to Escalade. We can't get one, baby. I'm putting my foot down. We will not be getting the Escalade. Not unless GM comes correct. So let me give you guys the GM cars. Okay. You got Chevy Tahoes, Chevy Bolts, Corvettes, I guess all the Chevys, Suburbans, the Equinox, the Silverado. These are all Chevys though. So yeah, okay. So let me read more of the letter. See, y'all got me just y'all triggering my 88 right now because I'm just tripping. All right.
I just read the letter in the beginning. You could just go back to the beginning if you're already riding along with us.
Africa got economically ripped off is because unfortunately Africans were tricked by Europeans into the doctrine of unequal exchange, where you're giving away something of this value, but you're receiving that much. Right? That creates what is called a trade deficit. And I've talked to you guys about integration and all these things that you're taught to celebrate in school. And the thing about integration is that integration was not designed to benefit black people.
Never.
Integration was not designed.
It actually hurt black people more than it helped black people.
They did not integrate you to run the companies. They integrated you to work for.
That's real. We push for integrations into integration, and see, before integration, we actually had places that were ours. You know, we had locations in different places that was ours, because remember, everything was separate. So it was the place where the blacks were, and it was the places where the whites were. So we still had places that was considered ours. When integration happened, we lost a lot of those places. We lost a lot of our black schools that we had. We had our own school systems, our own black schools being taught by black people. But when we integrated, that even destroyed that. It destroyed a lot of the black foundation and a lot of the black economy when we integrated. So that's just, you know, a good, you know, thinking point, that if you want to go do some research on integration, you know, I've read a lot into that whole time period, you know what I mean? And how we all thought it was just something that was supposed to benefit us. But us being here now in 2021, we can look back and say that wasn't the case. Because you see the situation that we living through today right now. So we know that wasn't the case. So we don't have to be rocket science or historians or something like that, or be people that research into certain things to know that. We could just look around. We could just look at society. We could just turn on our TV screen, open our phone, and we can see that every single day. So think about that.
Companies. They didn't integrate you to come in as a producer of products. They integrated you
to be a worker.
Producer of products. You weren't integrated to become the landlord. You were integrated to become the renters. When you have more renters and more consumers and more workers, then the people at the top become more powerful. This has been true since the Europeans created their whole feudal system back 500 years ago, 600 years ago, and they did it to white people. So it ain't even just race that's driving this.
They did it to each other too.
Exploitation, plain and simple. So if you allow this to happen, then negative, that's what you're going to get.
It's a fact.
With that said, let me read more of Diddy's line. Hit the thumbs up button. Oh, and by the way, if you want a free copy of my book, it's called It Takes a Village to Raise.
Thumb on my video while you thumbing up that.
Economics.com, and you sign up. At 8 times, you know, in the 90s with hip hop, when white media had rappers killing each other and everything, Diddy survived that because he's smart, he's strategic, he's a boss, right? Diddy ain't, you know, I mean, think about it. It's not like he's made his money from rapping, right? Diddy ain't had a hit since alive, it seems like. But let me tell you about Diddy that makes him great. Diddy is great because he understands what it means to be an owner. Diddy understands what it means to be a boss. Ice Cube understands what it means to be a boss. Everybody listening in here probably understands what it means to be a boss, because if you listen to my channel for more than a week, then you're already going in that direction, right? I don't have to tell you why.
Dr. Boyce Watkins.
Freedom is not something I have.
This is the Black Financial Channel. Dr. Boyce Watkins' other channel as well. He has a personal page, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and this page is Black Financial Channel BFC. We need to be into black finance.
And what happens is that when you start really talking that black talk, you know, you got to make sure that they don't canonize your ass.
For real. Right? Y'all ass get up out of here.
That's a verb. Nick Cannon is a verb, right?
You get Nick Cannon.
Celebrities getting Nick Cannon, because Nick Cannon, I mean, man, you want to talk about butt breaking.
Yeah, for real.
Butt breaking. We should do butt breaking too, called the saga of Nick Cannon, and people watching it get bust down like real fast, you know. And the thing about it is that, you know, they're talking this pro-black talk. It feels really good when you're doing it. The question is, how consistent are you when it's really time to go to war? So
does it translate?
Extraordinary. His words, I love everything he wrote.
Salute to Nick, man.
Pleased and so respectful of the fact that he used his platform to put this out. It was absolutely historic and revolutionary what he did. But I really kind of need some consistency to show that you're really about that life, because you can't make everybody happy. You're gonna lose a lot of friends.
That's a fact.
You're gonna lose some money. You're gonna lose some opportunity. There are some things you have to let go of in order for you to embrace that which means connecting to the black community, right? So it doesn't mean you're losing, you're actually winning, right? Everything that you were getting over there, you can get all that over here. You know, you get a Grammy over there, well, we got black award shows we can create. You can go get an Oscar over there, where Oscars don't mean nothing. We got black people that can make Grammys and Oscars and do all of that stuff, right? So what I'm saying is that I really hope that this is serious, this is long term. And the other point I want to make on this, it's really important to understand, is that when you're talking about GM doing the right thing for the black community and all the corporations that are watching this, like if they break down GM, all the other corporations will follow suit, because they want to get
the biggest company in that field.
Understand that supporting black-owned media is the only
thing that they have to do.
You can have for black-owned businesses. It's not over 1 million black-owned businesses that are not in the media industry. So if you want to talk about an economic move for the black community, an economic upgrade, an economic step up, an economic come up for the black community, you're going to have to talk about some other factors that involve the support of black-owned businesses. For example, access to capital. So if I were talking to the corporations and they all said, well, Dr. Boyd, we'll do exactly what you want. Just take the heat off. Like, what you want us to do? You know what I'm saying? I would say, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to create a $10 billion fund that you're going to put money into, and we're going to make it a little bit like a bank, but it won't be a bank. And we're going to have this fund available so that black entrepreneurs can come and get low interest loans at this fund. You'll still make.
That's a good idea.
You don't got to do this as charity. This doesn't have to be a direct investment. You don't have to buy anything. Just make capital available, because I know a lot of black entrepreneurs. Give me a yes or no. If you know black entrepreneurs, they can go out right now and borrow $100 grand. Do you think that they can take that $100 grand and turn it into 150 or 200? Give me a yes or no. If you know black entrepreneurs, if you loan them $50,000 right now without a piece of paper and get a $50K loan, but they couldn't take it, and flip it and turn it into 100. Okay?
Think about that. You know, we got to be thinking about ways to empower ourselves. We always talk about things. We do things for clicks. We really do this for Instagram. We do these things for likes. When we really about that life, we're going to really start understanding, and it's going to start to change our communities, and we're going to start to be together a little bit more in some senses as well, because it's really about business. All of the other things really don't matter. It's all about how we going to eat, how we going to feed our families, and how we going to maintain and survive. You know what I'm saying? How are we going to survive? And how our children going to survive after us and their children. So it's deep, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of us, that's a person like me that's aspiring to get into, into the media in a certain level. And I mean, at a certain level, whether it be music, whether it be this platform, whether it be podcasting, whatever it be, so just to know that, the same things that's happening on the lower levels are happening on the higher levels as well. We are being limited on the higher levels as we're being limited right here. Just because you get money, just because you get certain notoriety, that doesn't mean that you're not, like, you know what I mean? That doesn't mean that this is not going to be you, and it's not going to happen to you, and you're not going to be profiled. And it's real. You know what I'm saying? You build something, you help build something, and we don't get no kickback. But a lot of the negativities are being promoted. A lot of the negativities are being promoted within the communities, but nothing or no one is really doing a lot or anything to really help the Black community. You know what I'm saying? It's hard out here for the Black community, man. You know what I'm saying? We eating this and that. Everybody trying to shine and shine on people and shit on people and all that. But at the end of the day, we all hurting. Even Poppy that had the work and all that, he hurting. Everybody hurting. Might not be hurting as much as the next person's hurting, but a lot of people don't have it the same way how they used to have it. So we got to be on business. When I'm doing some of these programmings and when I'm going live, I always want somebody to learn something. We could learn something. You know what I'm saying? Being in the streets, a lot of time, nobody want to read now. And you got a book. Oh, this nigga want to read. You know what I'm saying? Like our perspective needs to shift. If you don't really read nothing, you're not going to get to learn some things. It ain't about just being in school. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about school, because some things you're not going to be taught in school. And school is not a pro-Black place. So they're not going to be teaching you about every nook and cranny of your history in school. It's predominantly going to be something that you research and you go and seek out. So we got to be thinking about business. You know what I mean? Thinking about business. What can you do? What can you build? What you know what I mean? What's your talent? What's your gift? Sometimes I'm a talented person. So when I meet people, I ask people that. You know what I mean? I might ask a guy or a girl, I say, yo, I mean, what's your talent? They be like, damn, nobody asked me that. Like some people like, I don't really even know. You know what I'm saying? And then I start going through things like, this is a talent, that's a talent, and this is a talent. They're like, damn, I know, yeah, I got that. That's my talent too. So we don't really know what we're good at. So we need to start honing what we're good at. We always got time for it. Even if you older and it was something that you wanted to do when you was young, you was drawing when you was younger, but then you had kids and stuff, and you know what I mean, you had to give certain things up and sacrifice certain parts of your life and certain things that was making you happy or you wanted to do, or dreams for your children or for the betterment of something else. You still have time to do that. You could get back to that right now. And we're in a world that's so digital right now, and it's so digitalized that you don't even have to physically be somewhere to do exactly what you need to do now. Times used to be that you needed someone to connect you or plug you in. Like my big bro say, the cosign is dead. Just because I co-sign you or somebody co-signs me, that doesn't mean I'm going to be successful. In a time before, if I was around a certain celebrity and it was like, yo, this the next guy, boom, you blow up. Unless you got like an Oprah touch, like as soon as she reads your book and you go in the book club, you #1 bestseller the next day, regardless of the fact, and that never changes. So get to whatever it is that you want to do. We thinking about business. We thinking about branding. Brand yourself. You are a brand. You are a brand. You're a company. Everybody's a company in their own self. And when you get into the legalities of that and understand your name is owned and on all these things, you would understand that we are a company and we are a part of a company. Our names are a part of a company. And this is our straw man. And that's a whole nother conversation. I don't want to get too deep. Because I know a lot of things, man. I do. But it ain't about what you know. It's about what you're doing. It's about what you active in. I know a lot of stuff, but that doesn't mean nothing. My life wasn't adding up to some of the things that I know. I was actually living less than my capability by doing some of the things that I was doing in my natural life, just regular everyday shit. Was taking away from the other parts, the good parts, or whatever else that's positive, or the things that I actually want to build. The other parts of me that's destroying, whether I think it's destroying me, I'm destroying somebody else shit. And then that shit ends up destroying me. Like life is a circle, like it's karma. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be thinking about branding. What is it that we do? You know what I'm saying? Just like me, I do music, I do acting, I do songwriting and things like that. That's my field of things that I do. I write multiple genres of music and that's just what I do. Right. But now I'm going into like podcasting and streaming and me conversing with you like this. Me opening up and talking, a lot of people like, damn, I didn't know you could articulate like that. Like, damn, that's very, and it's crazy. And I'll be like, thank you, I appreciate that. But it's just certain things, it's layers of a person that's being covered by other things. I began to go to YouTube. I began to research stuff and study how to do things, certain things. I wanted to do my podcast and I started to research it. If you want to do something, research it. I started to research it. When I began researching, I started learning different things. And then I started seeing other things that I'm going to have to learn if I want to be able to do this by myself, efficiently. Because it's not just about being able to do it by yourself, but you got to be able to do this efficiently, constantly, consistently. And it's looking a certain way and it's pumping out a certain kind of content and everything is good. So that's just the efficiency of the product moving. So just learning about the advertising, learning about the marketing of doing this as well has me more hands-on with my career, even musically now, than I've ever been musically, and how I want to do music and the videos and everything that I want to produce. But like my overlays, my graphics, my drops on the screen, these things ain't things that's there. These are things that I've created. I learned it. Because these are things that I'm going to need. If I got a show, I watch good shows on TV, I watch them and I see how they transition. You know what I mean? I don't have a big film background. I was learning a little bit in junior high school, but I don't really know much. I could learn more, but I see how certain things go when I watch TV. If I watch ESPN, I see how they thing go, the sports ticker going on the bottom. I see how they got the up. I see how they things moving. I see how certain things are moving. And I know that this is how bigger broadcasts run their programs. So if I could run my program close to how a big broadcast runs their program, then I think I'm, aiming for the moon, hitting the stars, or however you want to see it. But I began to learn something. And what I'm learning is actually, I didn't see it like that, but it's actually an art and a trade that I'm learning. And I can actually get money from what I'm learning, how to create these graphic designs and how to do certain things I'm learning. And it's many of people because I was going to have to go and pay somebody to do these things for me. Not to say that I'm mad or I'm against paying someone. If it's things that I'm going to have to get done on another level because I'm not to that level of graphic design and art as I am in music or another craft. So, we got to link with somebody else and connect a dot with somebody else and support somebody else so that we could get something done and we can move further. So we just got to be pushing more unity, man, more love, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even just about us talking about it. It's just each one, you know what I mean? Each one reach one, man. It ain't even about teaching one because nobody really want to be taught nothing no more. So it's just about each one reach one, man. If you have the opportunity to reach somebody, then reach that person. You know what I'm saying? I played some of Boyce Watkins, Dr. Boyce Watkins, excerpts from the BFC which is the Black Financial Channel, which is another one of his channels, not his main channel, where he talks about Black empowerment, economic empowerment, and he talks about the powernomics and the way things go and the way the system and the way it's ran and the way we can be successful within the guidelines, within the lines. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a fine line that we're all trotting. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to business, when it comes to finance. So we need to all be more business savvy, more business and financially savvy, you know, knowing and understanding, you know what I mean, the legalities of certain contracts and certain different things and ways that we can go about getting the funding that we need and what we want to do as well. I mean, like even like a Diddy, like I was talking about in this situation, you know what I'm saying? You know, you have to do more history because I could just sit here and cast blames on him and say, damn, was you doing all of this from Sean John and all this? Was you putting all the money back in the Black community and all that? We could go into all that, you know what I'm saying? But you know, each one of us, you know what I'm saying? Other people, we building our own things though. We may not be on that level as a Diddy, you know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of people. We got clothing brands, we got companies, we got things that we pushing out here. I bought Prince on my broadcast the other day on the Live with the Plug, and he was explaining that he got apps and different things like that. This is people that came from doing 19 years in jail from the streets. He got applications, different things like that going on. It's real, dating apps, all type is real. And these are things that we can do. You know what I'm saying? We got to get around people that know certain things, start shifting around our circles, getting with people that's more into technology. I'm always reaching out for some people that's into the technology fields and into the technological world. If you are a techie, if you went to school for technological studies and you have a technological background, you know about different things in media technologies. If you got media background, hosting, broadcasting, media broadcasting backgrounds, contact me. Let's put our minds together. Let's work and let's build something. You know what I'm saying? We can build something so easily that we can look back in like a year real quick, and it's crazy. But people don't get that. People really just don't understand that. You know what I mean? And it don't even take not much of our time. We probably do something that we do like once every so a week or 2 times a week. And next thing you know, it becomes something that's epic. You know what I'm saying? But everything we're not going to be able to do by ourselves. We're going to need somebody. That's how come we got to each one, got to reach one, not just teach one, man, because sometimes people don't want to learn these days. So we have to understand that. So, you know, right now we're live streaming live, Plug Nation. We're live streaming to BLOKK. We're live streaming the community, one community right now. And we're live streaming to Facebook on that BLOKK, Shoot a Block on my Facebook page as well. So, you know, just wanted to give y'all a little update and what my thoughts was on Diddy's open letter to these big media companies and how they invest dollars into the Black media and Black companies and the emerging Black businesses that's out there when we are supplying a lot of the revenue annually for these companies. So, you know, if you're a person that's doing media and you're into these kind of fields, then if we get to the next level, I'm not going to say if, but when we get to the next level, we're going to be faced with all of these different things, all these different walls, I would say. You know what I'm saying? So it's no different whether they Diddy, whether it's us, you know what I'm saying? Because some of us are some of the future Black entrepreneurs and people that's going to be faced with some of these same trials and tribulations. So like I said, man, salute to everybody that's tuned in today. You know, hopefully this was informative to y'all. Hopefully this was really, really informative to y'all. Salute to everybody that want to donate to the channel and that's been donating to the channel. I got a lot of supporters. You know, they the one who told me to really put my Cash App, do what I got to do. And I respect it, you know what I'm saying? Because we doing something positive and we trying to build something positive out here. You already know the vibe. You know where to catch me at. New music. You can always subscribe to my channel, BLOKK, where I'll be having segments like this because this also is being live streamed to my YouTube BLOKK page. So we got different segments, different things going on. I got interviews with Big Pun's sister on there, her talking about Fat Joe and explaining how she felt about him not showing up to Big Pun's Plaza opening and unveiling, I should say. You know what I mean? Different things. I got how to rap tutorials on there for different people that want to get into music and how you go about writing music. So I'm taking my time and walking everybody through it because, you know, even though I could go more to an intermediate level, I'm still staying at the level that I'm at right now and making sure that people get the basic fundamentals of writing verses and of writing songs and raps and whatever else you want to write. I'm going to be going into live tutorials about that as well, showing you exactly how to go about doing some of these things. So I want y'all to look out for that. Check out Live with the Plugs. We had a nice, good conversation with Cream Flipping My Hood. You could check Cream Flipping My Hood. He had great conversations about flipping houses and how he stays within his neighborhood and he finds those broken down houses within his neighborhood and he flips them and he builds them up. And you know what I mean? We get to have more control of what's going on in our neighborhood. We watch people coming into our neighborhood and building up within our community, and we always got something to say, or we're turning an eye to whatever the person's doing. But we have these same opportunities, and we can do this as well if we start to unify our dollar. I got a little dollar, you got one. We could put together and buy a building. You know what I'm saying? These are the type of things that we could do. Flip a building, get that, boom, flip it, and now we flipping buildings, not just houses. We flipping buildings, you know what I'm saying? Upstate is a little different because he's in the upstate region. So upstate is a little different. They got their buildings, but it's more like those little houses, them little houses, buildings like that. You know what I mean? So being in the city, 9 times out of 10 is not going to be no little houses looking things. It's going to be some buildings that we thinking about purchasing and some big storefront or something else that we can turn into something and flip it and, you know, and sell it and different things like that. So that's what we want to think about. You already know the vibe. You know where to find me at BLOKK. And on the block, you already know everybody's welcome. Everybody on the block. All you got to do, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bells on, and make sure that you're notified when I drop new content, because I'm just giving y'all this in increments. You know, pieces of good knowledge, just dropping little jewels on y'all. So when we have our full segments, you're going to know what's going on. I have a dope interview coming up next Saturday, the Saturday coming up. It's a dope interview. I got a dope interview. I'm going to let y'all know a little bit about that on a separate podcast, on a separate stream, so y'all can know about what's going on with that. And I can give y'all some updates on that interview. Just some empowerment and what we're trying to do within the community, man, and showing you some people that turn their life around and what the things that they're doing in their community, man. And I'm trying to like mine with that and put myself around like-minded people like that. What's going to help me to build my businesses and build my brands and build my company. So if that's you, if you're, like I said, a technological person, you got a tech background, you went to school for technology, different things like that, you can message me on Facebook, Shoot a Block on Facebook, Uda Block on Instagram. You can message me. My email, Shoot a Block, SHOOTABLOKK.SBTV@gmail.com. ShootaBlock.SBTV@gmail.com. I could pop those on the screen, but you know, I was just letting y'all know. So you already know the vibe, man. Salute to everybody. Salute to everybody tuning in. Right now, we're live streaming from 4 locations. We're going to Facebook, my Uda Block, Shoot a Block on Facebook, my Uda Block on YouTube, One Community, which is a page that I've created, and it's going to be brought into my podcast and into my program as well. So it will be a channel that's linked to my channel, which is my channel that I've created. It's called One Community. And I'm bringing everything into one umbrella. So One Community is something that I've created, and it's going to be something good for y'all. So I want y'all to stay tuned with One Community. All my Black people, we going to do something powerful this year and many years to come, like I said. And we're also live streaming from Plug Nation. So there's a lot going on with Plug Nation. You could check out the brunch in Atlanta, location Atlanta, May 14th to May 15th. You can be a part of the Plug Nation pop-up shop and brunch. It's going to be an eating event. It's going to be a pop-up shop clothing event. It's going to be some live interviews. It's going to be some performances and many other things that Tafari Harper has going on with that, Mr. Plug Nation. So you got to plug in the Plug Nation to check out that. Make sure that you check us out on www.don'thidetheplug.com, which is the hat and clothing line merch that my brothers and I, my two brothers and I, have created. It's called Don't Hide the Plug, because everyone's hiding the plug. No one wants to link nobody and no one wants to connect. And when we find something that's positive or something that's lucrative, we tend to keep it for ourselves and don't plug nobody in. So therefore, it's called Don't Hide the Plug, because we're not hiding the plug. There's so many things that you can check about Don't Hide the Plug. Visit us at www.don'thidetheplug.com. Check us out on all social media platforms. Don't hide the plug to be in tune with what's going on. And if you want to be a part of our Facebook group, you can be a part of it. It's called Campers and Climbers. But when you get into the group, just leave a video of yourself. Some people don't like to leave videos. You can leave a blank video, man. Sometimes you even got to show your face, because if we go to your Facebook page, we can see you. You can leave a no screen video, but we want to hear what you got to say or what you got to offer. Just leave a post in there saying exactly what you do. You don't have to do a physical post video, or you could just do a caption if you want. But me personally, I did a video post saying my attributes of the things that I do at that point, which is music, arts, songwriting, multiple genres. I write any kind of music, acting, I write scripts, I do different things like that. So if anybody needs my help or something like that and my services is required, you can contact me and see about that, you know. So just like that, I met a few people that did the same thing. They went in there. There's one guy, he does newscasting, he does different things. So I end up contacting him. You know, one guy, he does like podcasting and different things like that. And I think he's like in the UK or something like that. His name is Joe Koba. So you can check out Joe Koba, Kodba. You could check him out on Facebook and see what he's doing, because he has a lot of good things that he has going on as well. So just drop your whatever it is that you do, so we know, you know, you are a resource. We're resources, so we can compile our resources, the things that we can do and get done. I could go right in my group and shoot our message and say, yo, looking for this, I'm looking for that. And then we could begin to start finding exactly what we want to look for and not have to go searching in Facebook, Instagram, and all these different directories to find the people that we need for certain specific projects and certain specific situations that we need to get done. So we need to be doing that ourselves. So like I said, if you want to be a part of that, you can be a part of our Facebook group. It's called Campers and Climbers. Are you a camper or are you a climber? You know what I mean? Shout out to all my campers and shout out to all my climbers. You know what I'm saying? But we're most definitely on our climbing bag. We're climbing. We got our hiking gear and we climbing and we pushing towards something great. We pushing towards empowerment. We pushing towards growing our businesses. But like I said, whatever it is that you do, I don't care if you're 60 years old right now and you used to do something when you was 20 and then you had children and you gave everything up and you sacrificed your whole life and you gave up everything you love just for that. Well, get back to that now at 60. You can do that right now at 60. The world is designed different. We're not just in a physical world where it's just physical. It's a digitalized world. You can have social media. You can have your website. You can have your things that you're doing. You can be live streaming. You can do whatever you want to do, and you can get your voice out. You don't need somebody to help you to get your voice out today. And that's the beautiful time about today. Even though all of these telecommunications, computers, and all these things help to separate us in a way because we're always on our computers and our phones, but don't get it twisted. This is also a way to empower yourself, empower your voice. Your voice can be heard. So lift your voice. We are one community here on BLOKK. Like I said, to be a part of the block, subscribe to the channel. You already know, turn the notification bells on to make sure that you're notified when we drop new content. You already know the vibe. We cooking up, cooking up, cooking up. Peace.